There are more than 1.5 million people living in Kenya who are affected by HIV/AIDS. In Kenya, this disease is more prevalent among women and children. Specifically, in 2017, 860,000 women over the age of 15 and 110,000 children aged 0 to 14 were reported living with HIV/AIDS. Due to both physical and socio-cultural reasons, women are more likely to be infected compared to men, especially as contraception is not easily accessible and acceptable. There are few facilities that are fit to care for all of these people, and little facilities that can teach people how to curb the transmission of HIV. Besides the issue of this disease that claims thousands of lives each year in Kenya, the national crisis takes the attention away from other health concerns. Therefore, we have formed the nonprofit organization Care4Kenya that is focused on preventing and combating the spread of HIV/AIDS as well as educating the people of Kenya on the issue. Our vision is that no women, children, or persons will have to suffer from the impact of HIV/AIDS and will have complete access to necessary resources in Kenya. Our 3 objectives are to first, educate members of Western Kenyan communities on the contraction and spread of HIV/AIDS. Second, directly help to combat HIV/AIDS among those currently affected. And finally, to empower women in order to prevent the transmission of HIV/AIDS.
We begin with the community of Obunga. In the first objective of educating Kenyan communities, we intend to hold information sessions at schools and rural clinics. In the community meetings, representatives will discuss to the people of Obunga methods of prevention for HIV/AIDS, as well as warning signs and symptoms of the disease. Being educated on HIV/AIDS will help prevent contracting the disease in the first place, and for people living with the disease, improve their quality of life. Some symptoms include fever, fatigue, diarrhea, and more. This information is imperative because being able to detect the disease at its earliest form greatly increases the individual's chance of living longer and surviving from the disease, as well as preventing the progression to AIDS. When it comes to prevention, there are many different forms. Some major ones include using condoms, having less promiscuous sex, and using clean and sterile needles. Many people are simply uneducated when it comes to proper sexual and bodily practices due to having very few adequate resources. Also, education will help reduce stigma and discrimination of people with the disease. At Care4Kenya meetings, this type of information and more will be outlined and presented in depth to educate the people of Obunga the risks of this disease. A risk factor of this objective will be low attendance rates, which we plan to mitigate by providing large dinners for families of the community to entice individuals to attend. A success indicator of this activity will be increased or consistent attendance rates over time.
The second objective of Care4Kenya is to train midwives and current health workers in 2 mobile healthcare clinics where HIV is most prevalent. A study by Prevention HSV-2 HIV Transmission Study Group showed that HIV-1 is most prevalent around the Kisumu region than any other major site, even the capital city.
We are focusing on the Obunga neighborhood in Kisumu, Kenya. Most rural villages have no access at all to any sort of modern healthcare, and when there is healthcare available, it could be a very difficult journey to make over a long distance. Our goal is to train people in the neighborhood for the duties that a midwife or a health worker would use to help others that need HIV care in less commonly reached places, along with providing our own professionals that would work in the mobile healthcare clinics.
The risks of this would involve trying to get openness and acceptance to new training from outside sources, such as the ones our program would provide. To mitigate this risk, we would involve community leaders in the process, hopefully allowing us to train and educate new midwives and health workers while allowing us to implement the mobile healthcare clinics with our own professionals.
Our third objective places emphasis on empowering young women beginning at an early age. In regions that experience high poverty rates in Kenya, as little as 19% of the girls in these regions are enrolled in local primary schools. It is important to educate girls because educated mothers tend to have healthier children, and these children are more likely to attend school as well. This helps to break the cycle of illiteracy and poverty. Our organization will send female mentors to Kenyan communities, starting with the community of Obunga, where the Future Hope Academy is located. Mentors will check the students' level of engagement in school in the form of attendance and will work to increase, encourage, as well as maintain female students' involvement with school. Higher education for women can lead to more empowerment of women, making women more confident, strong, and aware. This empowerment can prevent the spread of HIV/AIDS because women will have more of a voice in society. The risk of this mentorship program is cultural opposition, which we plan to mitigate by giving monetary reward for attendance above the ages of 12 to 13-year-old young women. The goal or success indicator for a mentorship program will be to have a 75% attendance rate for girls above the age of 13 in school and the reward will be given to girls' families if they have met this attendance minimum. We have set a timeline to reach our goals. By year 1, we will have held monthly information sessions in Kenyan rural communities and will continue to keep attendance for these meetings. By year 2, we will have mobile care clinics up and running. By our 3rd year, we will have health workers trained in the community. By year 4, we will have mentors appointed in the schools to guide young girls. By the 5th year, we will have tracked results and go on to make adjustments as well as plan the next steps. This grant will be extremely beneficial and appreciated by our organization. It will help us to pursue our mission to prevent and combat the spread of HIV/AIDS through education, women's empowerment, and direct medical improvement in Kenyan communities, so no women, children, and persons will have to suffer from the impact of this devastating disease.